Good afternoon, Flosstube. Welcome back to an episode of Annemiek from the Handwerk Boetiek. My name is Annemiek and this is the Handwerk Boetiek. And we are located in Roden in the Netherlands, in the northern part of the Netherlands. First off, a big thank you to everybody who commented on my last video and who reached out to me and gave likes and subscribed. It's really amazing to see how people find the videos and comment on them. I really love it. I haven't been able to respond to every one of them. It's been really busy here in the shop, which is wonderful. I'll talk a little bit about that more later on. But I wanted you to know that I really appreciate it and that I love reading them and watching, getting notifications of people who subscribe. So thank you very much. This episode is about my COVID-19 Mania program that I set up for myself. It's a little different from Stitch Mania, which usually starts in May, and some people that did March Madness. I'll explain what I set up for myself. And I don't have any finishes to show. I have one finish over the last couple weeks, but unfortunately that's a surprise, so I can't show it until the next video. But I'll make sure that you can see it then. Then it should be fully finished as well, so hang in there and I'll show it later on. First off, a little bit about the shop. Like I said, it's been really busy and I truly appreciate all the orders that people are sending in. It's amazing to see how many of you are using this time to be creative. It also means that I'm really busy and that things take a little longer than normally. I'm usually I'm mostly by myself these weeks, of course. And I do work my other job for the faculty as well, so it's a bit sort of like balancing both things. I do have help on Fridays and another sweet friend comes in during the week, but my mom's not here. And I can just really tell that it's just way more work if you have to do it by yourself, which is okay. I mean, like I said, I'm very grateful for all the orders that we have. I just wanted to let you know that if you haven't heard from me within a day, or if you haven't received your order yet, I'm working really hard on it. I'm going to do some more work on Monday. And hopefully then next week, a lot of orders will fly out. Two of our thread suppliers have completely closed down. So Gentle Art, which produces sampler threads and shaker threads, is not sending out any orders at this moment. They thought that maybe after last Monday they could open up again, but unfortunately that is not the case. And yesterday I got a notification that Threadworks also has to close down completely. We were able to send in an order that shipped out yesterday, so we should be able to get those threads in anytime in the future. It's not a problem these days. There's really no telling how long it'll take for a package from the US to arrive to us. We did pretty well with our distributor order. I had 2 packages aftermarket that got here really fast, and I'm waiting on 2 more that are somewhere either at Dutch customs, hold up at an airport in the US. I really don't know. Just know that we're on them. You know, we try to track them and see where they are. And as soon as they're here, we'll be able to ship out more orders. All of our European distributors are still pretty much in place, though for them as well, everything takes a little bit longer than normally. I think that given the circumstances, it's pretty amazing that we still get so many supplies in. I'm truly grateful that so many distributors and suppliers keep working and keep trying to get us stocked up on things. If you are looking for sampler threads, you can always order them through the website and we'll check what we have and we'll be happy to ship them to you. If you want to, we can also look for substitutes in the Week Dye Works range or in the Classic Colorwork range, so just let us know. Now on to COVID-19 Mania. I ever since the beginning of the year, I've been thinking about joining Stitch Mania in May. My problem was that I couldn't envision myself starting 31 new projects and starting something new every day. Um, Especially during the week, I don't really have that much stitching time. So if you can only stitch on a piece for like an hour, hour and a half maybe, well, we all know that it doesn't get accomplished that much. So I figured out I needed to do something different. And most of all, excuse me, most of all, I couldn't really wait till May to start with all the new Nashville designs. I was like, I really want to start these patterns now and not wait a whole nother month. So what I did is I started on April 1st, and it's my own version of sort of like COVID-19 Mania. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I figured out if I would start 2 new projects every week, work on them for 2 days, work on a WIP for 2 days, that makes 6 days, and then on the 7th day, I could pretty much choose what I wanted to work on. So that could be either one of the new starts from the week, it could be the WIP that I was working on, but it could also be a totally different WIP. It's just not a day for another start. So if you consider April and May, I think it's like 9 weeks in total, which would make for 18 new starts. I might push it to 20 to sort of do like 20 new starts in 2020, but that'll depend on how I feel. I've been working on this since April 1st, like I said, and I can already notice that sometimes I'm so caught up in a project that I don't really want to stop. So I don't think I really, starting something new every single day would just not be for me. The one project that I worked on, the surprise project, that was one of my WIPs that I worked on. And then I started Coffee First by Brenda Gervais from With Thy Needle and Thread. This is how far I am. And this is the design. So as you can see, I'm pretty far along. I just need to finish. Can I just hold this? I just need to finish here, her head, the other little cup of coffee, and some vine and coffee beans, and just finish this. And I think there are like some scattered stitches around this. This is such a fun design. I'm stitching it on 40 count vintage mocha Newcastle linen. The coffee cup, I counted. I never count stitches, but I counted this time. The coffee cup, I think, is something like 1,200 stitches. And when I started this, I worked on it mostly in the evenings, and it was the perfect stitching for the evening. I could just sort of brainlessly go up a row and go down a row. There are 30 rows across, so that should give you an idea of how big it is. It's a very fun piece to do. The coffee beans are lovely to stitch. She used a combination of DMC and hand-dyed threads. I substituted some of the threads because I didn't have them in my collection, and I'm trying to use up more of what I have in my collection. I have this huge box of sampler threads and shaker threads, and I would just go look for a color that was close. But most of the colors I had, and the others I would just, figure out what I wanted to do. So that was one. Then I started, because we all need a red sampler, right? I started Icy Red. This is an amazing piece to stitch. I really enjoy it. I'm using 40 count Newcastle. It might be that the color is called Birch. It's color number 3077. It's a beautiful natural color, and I'm stitching it with a skein of cranberry from Gloriana Silks. It's really, really fun. Now, what nobody told me is that this alphabet and this alphabet is done over one. I think, hindsight is 2020. I should have been able to figure that out just looking at the picture, but I just didn't. And I might have started it on a 36 count instead of a 40 count if I knew that before I started. Now I think what I'm going to do is, especially since I'm working with silks, I think what I'll do is I'll just do a 10 stitch for this alphabet. And this, there's 2 flowers here and there's a little dog there. I'm going to convert this one into a cat. I think if I move closer, the tail looks like a dog, and I think if I move the tail like going that way, it would turn it into a cat. I will figure that out before I start stitching, because if there's one thing about stitching a red sampler with red hand-dyed silks, it is that if you have to frog, it's very hard not to leave little pieces of thread in there. So this was my second start. I really enjoy this. It was hard to put it down. And as you can see, I have a whole other piece of fabric for which I have plans. I also want to stitch this design. This is Carmela's Red Sampler by Hands to Work. It was a Nashville release. I think it's a lovely, charming little red sampler. I love it how the motifs are sort of scattered around. There's not really any rhyme or reason to it. There's like this empty space over here and this motif that seems to be out of place if you consider the rest. I want to stitch that on the same piece of fabric, also with the cranberry from Gloriana. So my idea is that once I finish the two, I will frame them and they sort of go together because of the thread and the fabric used. And then there is Louise Konig. Actually, it's Koenig. On the chart, you can't see it on the photo, I think. Anyway, on the chart, the last name, Konig, is spelled in the way Germans do, König, with 2 little dots on the O, an umlaut. And the meaning is the same as my last name, which is King. So I thought this sampler was very appropriate to stitch. It's a little bigger than the other projects that I'm doing, so I think I might save this for last and just, you know, use the rest of June and July to get this finished. But I'm also going to stitch it on the same fabric and with the same thread. It's really pretty. There's another picture here in the back. Stacy turned it into a sewing pocket. I'm just gonna leave it as is. It's just, you know, like a sort of squarish red sampler. And I just thought it would be nice to leave it as is and frame it. So that's my third red sampler that I picked for this COVID-19 kind of mania program. Program sounds a bit weird, but you know what I mean. Those are my red samplers. I'm not going to add any more red samplers. I have plenty of other projects that I have half kitted, completely kitted up. I want to use the Easter weekend to kit up some more so that I have them ready when I want to go. Then yesterday I could start another new design, and I chose Quilting Bird by Heart in Hand Needle Art. Now, you'll see it on the piece. I have stitched the stitching bird, if you remember from last video. And my idea was that it would be cool if I would, I don't know if you can see it, if I would flip him so that he looks the other way, and then they can sort of look to each other if I finish them into little pillows. Now here's what happens when you do this on a Friday night after a very busy week. And you think, oh, it's a very good idea to start something new, and it's an even better idea to flip the design without having a proper copy of it. So here's what I did. You can see all the threads. I'm sorry, I didn't pull them towards the back. So I thought I would start with something simple, like quilting and then just the box around it. But over here, let's see if I can put it up here. I stitched this one in the same place as on the design, but if you flip his feet, then there's no space for it. So I've already frogged the lower part of this here, and I'll frog this, and then I'll add this quilt motif over here, and this will move to this side. So I am able to flip it. I just need to get my brain power on and look carefully at the design and look carefully at the stitch piece before I do anything. But I think it's a fun project. These quirky birds by Cecilia are so much fun to stitch. So I'm hoping that this one will get done pretty soon, and then I can finish it with the other one into little pillows, and we might add some, I'm thinking of adding some chenille trim around it just to sort of fluff it up a little bit. And then they can look towards each other. If everything works out, I'll let you know. This is stitched on 36 count linen, Edinburgh. And the color is 233, which is antique mocha. I think so. It's not the vintage mocha, which has the splotched effect on one side of the fabric, but it's a little lighter than that. It's a lovely color. If you're looking for a good sampler color in 36 count, this is a great color. I'll see if I can show it again. Here, maybe this will work better. Can you see it? We use it a lot if people want to stitch reproduction samplers on 36 counts. This is a great color. It's stitched with a variety of classic colorworks, which I subbed for Weeks Dye Works. And the funny story is that when I was in Nashville, I had already bought the design from Cecilia. And then on Sunday, it was close to closing time, I went to the Weeks booth and thought that I would pick up some threads for this particular design. So I'm standing there at the spinner going around looking for good colors that would sort of match the picture on the front. And somebody taps me on the shoulder, and it turned out to be Celia. So she was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to figure out colors for your chart." So she helped me pick out some of them. We went with Twilight for this, and this is Blue Spruce. This is Cocoa that we picked out, and this is Blue Jeans. So it still looks pretty much like the photo. It's just a combination of what Cecilia and I picked out at Weeks Dye Works. I just think that's just really fun. So that's all I've been working on. I haven't had that much time to stitch. Haven't had that much energy to stitch. It's just been really busy. But I really enjoy what I'm stitching at the moment. And every night it's kind of hard to put it down. And then the next day, sort of figure, okay, I have to work on something else. Today I'm going to work more on my quilting bird. That's how my setup is. And tomorrow I have nothing planned. I'm going out for a walk. It's beautiful weather over here. But that's about it. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll either be able to finish coffee first or be able to finish quilting bird. I guess it's whatever calls my name the loudest in the morning. We'll see, and I'll update you next time. Then on Monday, I can either work for 2 days on another WIP or start something new. Now, I've kitted up a couple projects that I'll share with you. I haven't decided when I'm going to start what. It's basically, once I get upstairs and have time to sit down, I just look at what I'm in the mood for. Now, all of these projects are not really that big. I'm not much of a very large piece stitcher, simply because I don't have that many stitching hours in the week, and I do like to have a finish every now and then. I had thought about maybe starting 1 or 2 larger projects and then throw them in the routine as well. So work on them for 2 days, maybe use one of my WIP days for it and see how that goes. I think the Louis Koenig sampler by Stacey Nash is a good trial for me, see how that works out and then take it from there. There's a few more patterns that are out that we would love to stitch for the shop. We have been doing really well getting new models for fall. I'm not sharing all of them with you because then in the fall well, I might share them and you probably wouldn't remember by fall. Let me know if you would like me to share them. But we've done quite well in getting quite a few new fall projects done. So now we're basically back to focusing on spring, summer, and sort of year-long models that we can have out all year long that are not really dedicated to one season. Now, one of the other projects that is in my to start pile is this wonderful design by Annie B's Folk Art. I really, really love this. I've seen the model in Nashville. I'm like, just this border. There's two houses. There's a heart, which is, this would be stunning by itself if you would just stitch this, maybe on a 28 count, and then just finish it as a heart in the heart shape. And then there's an alphabet around. I think it's one of the prettiest designs from Nashville. So I looked for threads. These are not all of the called for, but this is what the threads look like. And the one you cannot see very well, let me take this here. This pink here is the color of the houses. So let me see if this works. Other way around. See? And again, it's done. I'm going to stitch this on 40 count Newcastle. It's pearl gray, I think, called. It's color number 705. It's a really, really nice gray. Let me put this up. Very neutral, and I think the colors will just pop on it. Trying to make a nice presentation like Nicole does, but I think I'm lacking. I think my skills are not in presenting the threads. There we go. So this is probably going to be started the coming week because I'm just anxious to get it started. Then I have semi-kitted up. I haven't really pulled this out. I wanted to start with these Houses on a Hill series by Hands-On Designs. The first one, the first two, I don't know. She started this last year in Nashville, and this one came out just before Nashville this year. So now that they're all out, I would really like to get them done. The chart comes with the piece of filled wool by Weeks Dye Works that is used to create the hill over here. Each of these designs have a little hill that you make out of that felt wool, which I think is just a great idea. These are two of the colors used. I'm missing, oh, I'm not really missing. Yes, the barn gray I have in my Annie B's project, so I can take it from there. And then it needs to have 2 rows as well. So I just need, that wasn't in my stash, so I need to see if I either substitute it for something or if I just pick up a skein from the shop. It's nothing like shopping in your own shop, right? Then another one that I want to start is Jump Into Spring by Janet Douglas Designs. These are fun little projects. If you want to learn some new stitches, this is a great way to do it. It's not very complicated. Jeanette does excellent graphs of how you have to do the stitches. And it's just really fun because see, the hearts here are little satin stitches. These are Jessica's. These are satin stitches as well that create the basket. And there's more specialty stitches over here. I forgot which ones these are. And then you just stitch all the flowers. Now, I only found 2 colors. Basically, the color for the basket and the one that is the vine all around. And I think what I'll do is I'll just put my box with sampler threads and shaker thread next to me and just select colors as I go. It needs 2 greens. It needs, this is one color pink. This is another color pink, and this is like a red. Here are 2 colors bluish, and then 2 colors purple for the violets with a little bit of white. So I think I'll just pick whatever I have available and make it my own. We did see, she's going to continue this series. The next one is going to be Sail into Summer. Now, I haven't seen that one yet. That wasn't, she didn't have that with her in Nashville, but she did have the fall and the kind of Christmas winter one. And let me tell you, you want to stitch these little pillows as they come out, because the fall and the Christmas one, they were really, really, really awesome. So I'm hoping that I can keep up. Knowing Jeanette's designs, it'll take a little bit longer than you think. Well, maybe it depends on how much hours of stitching you can do in a day, but this for me is not a 2-day project. This will take longer, but it'll be so much fun to do the specialty stitches over here, and then, you know, the vine around it, and then start working on the flowers. And then I think I might look if just another button has a mini pin set that will go with it. Just have to look for that, because that would be cool if it just had some nice pins over there. So yeah, that's another one. Then Hip Hop Chalk Full. I really love this. It's quirky, it's sweet, it's not that many colors. These are the colors. Now, as you may notice, there's a skein of chalk missing. I have it in a bin upstairs. I've already seen it, and then I forgot to take it out and put it with the design. So this one is close to the starting line, because I want to start working on that sort of charcoal fabric from Swagger that we have. It's the color number is 7026. It's like this dark charcoal gray, pretty much like what she used here. It's just not hand dyed, and we have it in the shop as a staple. And I think for these chalk projects, it's perfect. It's gonna be one of my challenges, because I have not stitched on this fabric before. It's because it's dark fabric. And I really want to try it out, and then I am aiming to do both this design and the little cushion. So this one is close up. So we'll see, maybe next week, maybe the week after. And then I have kitted up, maybe it's cold outside. It seems like I'm late on the Baby It's Cold Outside train. This is a piece that a lot of people started stitching in the beginning of the year to remember Leanne. I wanted to stitch it as well, but the distributor didn't have it at the time, and Beth was kind enough to take a couple copies for me to market, so I have it now. I have sorted out some of the threads, not all of them. There's actually not that many threads. I think I just need to add a green and something yellow orangey for the windows here. Now the green calls is Piney Woods, but it's like an olivey brown green that I don't really associate with sort of pine trees. So I'm thinking of either substituting bayberry, or since I'm working with blue spruce from Weeks Dye Works now on my, quilting bird, I might use that as well. The Piney Woods I have now, I think it's a change in the color lots, the dye lots. It doesn't look like this green. This is, to me, is like a pine green, and Piney Woods just doesn't look like that anymore. So I will probably substitute it. I'm gonna stitch it on, hold on, where did I put it? Over here. On this vintage country mocha 40 count again. I think that'll just be a great combination. Can you see it? So that's my plan. I'm gonna stitch it in remembrance of my dad who passed away from lung cancer. Beth designed a little cardinal to go on the piece if you wanted to. I might change that into a little bluebird. I'll just have to see. I first need to get started on this and see how far I'm going. I can add the bird at any moment and, whenever I'm close to the end. So that's another one. Then this is not a new release, but this is one that I've had kitted up for a long, long time. I still think this is one of the prettiest designs. It's stitched with NPIs. I pulled the DMCs that I needed. I don't think these are all of them, but I am still missing a couple colors, but they might be used in other projects. And remember this long strip of fabric? I'm going to stitch it on this as well. Let's see, does this work? There we go. I think it'll look great, and these with the colors. So that's another one. I really would like to start that pretty soon, so I'll see how that works out. It's just fun to kit up these projects, to make a selection of the designs that I brought back from Nashville, and see how I wanted to kit them up, what kind of thread, fabric I wanted to use. I have noticed that ever since I'm using my little peepers, I started having fun again with 36 count, and now 40 count is really, really easy again. So it's very tempting to just pull out another couple of 40 count fabrics and use that for the projects that I want to do. The 36 is it's very comfortable. So I'm thinking it would be good to have a mixture of a 40 count and a 36 count project, just to have something that's, a little easier on the eyes and the mind if I'm tired, and something that is a little more challenging, though it's not really that challenging. I'm fine with just my peepers, and I have a light that comes over my shoulder when I sit on my couch, and that works very, very well. So I think nowadays it's just a matter of trying to find whatever works for you. There are great magnification tools at the moment. There are great lights at the moment. And it's really a matter of trying to find a good combination. So those are all my stitching plans. We did get something in the shop that I wanted to show you because it's so darn cute. We got new scissors in the shop. I don't know if I can show them in one setting. These are new scissors. So they're polka dots, light blue, pink, and green. And they come with a little leather sheath as well over here. I think they're adorable. They're only $6.50. I haven't put these up in the web shop yet. They'll be there next week. But these are just the cutest things I've seen in a long time. They're flat. I can easily ship them to you. And I think it would be really easy to find a DMC green that matches this color, and then stitch like a little scissor fob and just put in white dots along the way, because it's really not that hard. And you could do the same for the pink one and for the blue one. They would make an awesome gift for somebody. And like I said, if you include the little scissor fob, how special would that be? And then we got these scissors in, which are really, really fun. Can you see them? Yes. These are also $6.50. They don't have the leather sheet, but oh boy, are they cute. They cut pretty well. They have a really, oh, let me see. Can you see this? Can you see? It's a pretty sharp point. And the blade is not really that large, so you can take them on the plane as well. And they come in green, blue, and pink. I really adore these. So those are new in the shop. We did get in a big order from Hoffman, our distributor in the US. We're working through all the orders to get them out. We didn't get all of the things we ordered. We didn't get all of the frets we ordered, so it's it's always a little bit of a guessing game. You know, you put in the order, you hit the send button, and then you have to wait for like a day before they send you back the confirmation of what is going to ship and whatnot. We did get in a lot of stuff, so a lot of people are going to be happy next week. And it took about 10 days to get to us, which is a little bit longer than what it normally does, how long it normally takes, but I'm okay with that, you know, considering what's going on in the world. 10 days is not really that bad. So we're working on that. The other thing I wanted to show, where did I put it? Here. Well, going over my the designs in the shop, I found 3 Chessie Me kits that are from, I don't know how long ago. I just thought I'd show them. I'll put them up in the web shop, but these are really just a one-off. There's pumpkin stack, and it comes with, you can't really see it here, but it comes with the hand-dyed thread and the hand-dyed fabric and a needle, which is also kind of nice. This one is 20 euros. So pumpkin stack. Then I have Birds of a Feather. It's 22.50. Again, with hand-dyed fabric and threads. And I found one time Jessie's Fern. And this one is 24.50. And again, and here you can see it. It's hand-dyed fabric, a needle, and the threads. So these are a great gift for yourself, for somebody else, if you want them. The good thing is you don't have to kit them up. They're all ready to go, including the needle. So these 3 are still available. Like I said, I'll put them up in the web shop. That's going to be next week. Over here, Monday is like second Easter day. So we're off here in the Netherlands. And I'm planning on using that time tomorrow and Monday to work hard on my new projects and see how far I can get them to show you next time. I'm going to continue with this till the end of May, and I'm sort of hoping that by then I have some of the projects finished as well. I hope that by the end of May, it's not like I have, you know, 18 or 20 new projects that are still work in progress, but that some of them are done and some of them can roll over into June. And then I'm sort of hoping that if I use June to finish them up, then in July I can, you know, start 1 or 2 larger projects maybe and see if I can finish those before the end of the year. And I might do, August is my birthday month, and I might do something similar, because if I like this, and so far I really do, then I might use August for another round of start 2 projects a week, do 2 days of WIP stitching, and have a day where I can just decide what I'd like to do. Anyways, that's it for me for today. I hope this finds you well, that you're healthy, that your loved ones are healthy, that you're, that, you know, things are not too upsetting. I know some people have real anxiety issues with the stay at home and the lockdown and just the scary thought of the virus. I've really been enjoying watching Flosstube to get sort of uplifting messages from fellow stitchers. So everybody who put out their Flosstube videos, thank you so much. You're my companion when I'm stitching. You're my companion when I'm shipping orders. You're my companion when I'm working, you know, getting stuff done in the shop. And it really lifts my day. It lifts my spirits. And I think it's really great that even in this time, we find a way to share our love of cross stitch. So stay healthy, stay inside, and I'll see you next time. Bye.